This is a typical human cell. There are approximately 3 trillion cells in the human body. Each cell is made up of many organelles. It is often useful to compare a cell to a place or system. In this project, you will compare a eukaryotic cell to a place or system in order to better understand the individual organelle functions. Here is my own analogy. I like to compare the cell to the United States. The nucleus is one of the major organelles in the cell. The nucleus stores DNA and important hereditary information that instructs and controls bodily functions. This organelle can be compared to the White House because this is where important information about our country is located. Inside of the nucleus is the nucleolus. The nucleolus is where ribosomes are stored within the nucleus. This is like the Oval Office of the White House. This is where the president controls the basic running of our country. When exiting the nucleus, any materials entering or exiting have to pass through the nuclear membrane. The nuclear membrane lets some things into the nucleus but keeps most materials out. The fence around the White House can be compared to the nuclear membrane. It keeps most people out and allows only certain people and officials inside. The next organelle is the vacuole. The vacuole of the cell stores any materials that are not being used by the cell at the moment but may be needed at some time. There are many warehouses in the United States that store materials that are not needed now but may be needed in the future. We will now move to the lysosome. Lysosomes in the cell act as the cleanup crew. These organelles digest proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, DNA, RNA, old organelles, viruses, and bacteria. The lysosome is the trash collector of the cell, just like the waste management company collects garbage in the US. The endoplasmic reticulum is the organelle responsible for making proteins and lipids. There are 2 types of endoplasmic reticulum, rough and smooth. The rough ER has ribosomes attached to it which make a bumpy surface. Both the smooth and rough ER are known as the intracellular highways of the cell. Ribosomes travel up and down these organelles in order to make proteins used by the body. The ER can be compared to the US highways that allow citizens to travel to and from different places throughout the country. Next, we have the Golgi apparatus. This organelle is responsible for packaging and shipping proteins to certain areas of the body. This organelle can be compared to the US Post Office. The Post Office is responsible for sorting and shipping packages to different cities and states throughout the country. Then we reach the mitochondria. These organelles are responsible for producing energy inside the cell. They are often referred to as the powerhouse. Therefore, I compared them to factories that produce food, the energy humans require to function. Last but not least, we have the cell membrane. This membrane protects the cell and allows materials to enter and leave the cell. The membrane is selective and allows only certain materials to come into the cell. The membrane is like the US borders. Our borders only allow certain people and materials into the United States. These organelles combine and work together to form one functional unit of the body. Remember, cells make up tissues, tissues make up organs, organs make up organ systems, and organ systems make up the human body.